Let me just I had to do it from my phone.
Yeah, I had to do it from my phone. That's what I had to do. I had to switch to the phone.
Is your boy coming back on now that I'm on?
Huh?
Is your boy coming back on?
No, so Facebook, we haven't figured that far out. I think we got to do that through a separate app.
Gotcha.
To get multiple people on, because it's only going to allow the 2 for right now. Yeah, it's only going to allow the 2 for right now.
Well, we're good.
Which is BS.
Well, good.
We were just talking. We were just talking, and you was really getting into it.
Yeah.
And I love that. I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
All right. So my name's Curtis Baker. I'm a former Marine. I met Waltby in Japan. Prior to that, I was in Cherry Point. I've served overseas. I've done California. I was at Pendleton. I've done a lot. Currently, I'm in Tennessee. I'm getting ready to move the family to Pennsylvania due to a promotion with my newest company. Taking over as a senior manager of hydrogen plant operations. It's big things. This will be I think the 6th or 7th move for my family since I've gotten out of the Marine Corps in 2016, the end of 2015. Big things, man. I'm originally from Orlando, Florida, in a nowhere trailer park, and it wasn't a good mix down there. You know, I grew up when a lot of people think Florida trailer parks, they think white trash rednecks, and we did have those. I'm not afraid of that, but you know, it was very. I consider it to most times the projects, man. I grew up where on my street, you know, I saw my first murder when I was like 13 years old live. I was riding my bicycle over to my buddy's house. And there was a drug deal gone bad, and right as I turned the corner, a gentleman shot another one in the chest and laid him out flat right there in front of me. You know, it was not pretty, but again, to some of the things I see you guys have already discussed, it's not where you're from, it's what you do with experiences and where they put you that matters most. So.
Yep. Absolutely, man. I appreciate you sharing that quick story. So I need you to tell me a little bit about the mindset that you had to put yourself in order to make it out of them situations.
Yeah. So really, hold on just a second. I'm preparing myself.
No, you good. Take your time.
So essentially, I knew where I wasn't where I wanted to be. You know, I was a pretty decent athlete through high school. I wrestled. It's something to this day I'm still passionate about. I actually had a full ride scholarship to a D3 college when I was living in Arizona 2 years ago and wrestled on a full scholarship at 30 years old. I was the oldest competitor in the entire division. So I didn't fare too well, but it gave me free school and it was fun. You know, that passion's never left. Still enjoy coaching. Younger generations, wrestling is something that's in my blood. I want my kids to do it if they choose so. If not, then I'll support whatever endeavors they end up going through. But the mentality really, it stemmed from understanding. I guess let me take a step back, right? I was blessed in the fact that while, yes, I grew up with my mother in a trailer park for most of my childhood, not knowing who my father is. I don't. You know, I'll be transparent about that. But what I did have was a fantastic support system in terms of my grandparents, my aunt and uncles, and then, you know, my mom, even though our circumstances weren't great, she did her best, is what I like to consider.
Yeah.
Sometimes best isn't always great, but it was her best, and that's all that I could ask for at the time. What it always resounded with me was, this is not going to be my life. My grandfather was an extremely successful businessman. As I came into adulthood, I found out realistically he supported me and my mother, even when we were at our highs or lows. He was there to make sure I always had what I needed, as well as my younger brother. I have a younger brother, Connor, 7 years my younger. And I remember there were nights where one package of ramen noodles was dinner for all three of us. And you get creative. And the pantry, when you open the door, there's half a loaf of bread, some cockroaches, and a ramen noodle pack. And that was just factual. But anytime I really ever needed something, my family was there. And now we've kind of grown away from that and been successful. So the mindset was just, how do I get to where I want to be? But I still, there was times, and even to this day, there's some of my past I just don't let go of. I've still, like you remember from Japan, I still got a fire that burns, and if somebody stokes it, I'm willing to let you get burned.
Yeah.
The hood didn't leave there. You know what I mean? So I still got to walk tall and stand on all 10 flat. So I remember actually there was a time me and my mother were separated. I won't get too into that. It was kind of nasty at the time, and I won't put her out there like that. But times got difficult, and I ended up living with my grandparents. And my grandparents ended up getting divorced after about 35 years of marriage. I ended up going with my grandmother because she, more than anything, I felt the desire to protect and serve and be there for her when she needed it. But I remember it was the summer after I graduated high school. All my friends were preparing for college. I was not going to be an academic scholar by any means. And so I said, that ain't for me. And one day I just sat there and said, I'm not going to be the kid that just lives in Orlando in his grandmother's loft. I've got to do something better. So I actually got online and Googled Marine Recruiter, found one. I called him that day. And, 3 days later, I was actually signed. I came in that day, they were shocked. They were like, guys just don't come in here, sign the paper, and say, when can I go? And then they were worried, about a lot of times when guys do that, they're not exactly in the best shape, or they've got legal trouble, or they've got drug problems, they've got DUI, they got something. There's typically a catalyst that springs that into action. And mine just happened to be that I didn't want to be where I was at anymore. I got lucky in that fact that I was able to go. However, being a high school kid, and I smoked weed quite a bit. So actually, the first time I went to MEPS, I popped. Ooh. And so that set me back for, I think it was 3 or 6 months. I forget what the rules were back then. And thankfully that had happened, because my original course of action, I was going to be a door gunner on Hueys. And while that would have been a thrilling and exciting job, in the civilian world right now, in a successful world, there's not too much money to be made shooting people from the side of a helicopter.
Yeah. So
they got me in, and I ended up I was going to be cryogenics. And so what that is we actually, for those of you watching who aren't aware, anytime an aircraft, a fixed wing aircraft specifically, an airplane goes above, I think it's 15,000 feet at ceiling height, it requires an oxygen system on board in order to pressurize the cabin so the pilots don't go into hypoxia. Anytime you watch, Top Gun, all the jet fighters where they wear the Bane mask with all those hoses going in, there's a reason for it. It's to serve them oxygen, to give them life, to be able to do what they need to do. And so the Marine Corps actually has a complete entity internally that creates and generates that nitrogen and oxygen. And we liquefy it. All of that is internal. It's not something that we go to now what I work for, an IGC, or a major gas company. You don't purchase that. We create it internally. And what I found out after 10 years is that's actually extremely lucrative on the civilian side.
Yeah.
So I took that endeavor, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are. So like now you use what you already learned in the Marine Corps, your job from the Marine Corps, and you're doing that outside now to pave your way.
Exactly. And the biggest thing right now that I want to impress upon people is, I know I threw a lot of technical terminology out there. Understand that in my opinion, if one, you want to get to where you consider success, right? My definition of success should be different than everybody else's definition of success. Now, people can say, I think Walt is money is successful. We're hearing Curtis, he's successful. Well, success can be the fact that you ate that day. Learn how to define success for yourself, to consider yourself successful, and then just grow that. Let that snowball. Don't consider yourself, you're not competing with the Joneses. I think too many people try and get what somebody else has just to say, look what I got. I know tons of people that are six-figure earners, up to $1 million earners, that when I look at them, I'm like, man, you're living your best life. I don't want no part of it. That ain't success to me.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah,
the biggest thing that made me successful, above all, outside of that technical terminology, is leadership. Leadership is your most valuable asset as a human. If you can be a leader, you can make money. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And money's not what you're after. If you want to work for a nonprofit, if you want to go build wells for pygmies, just be a leader in that faction and go after it. It's don't for me. So I've also, I married a amazing, beautiful woman. Between the two of us, me and her have 2 kids together, and then we each have one from outside a previous relationship. Success for me had to warrant income, because above all, I wanted to be a provider and a protector for my family, so that they don't have to start from the same necessary ladder rungs that I had to start from. I want their climb to be much shorter than mine was. That's what I feel is success to me, right? And so I've done everything in my power, to perform that. But don't listen to me and say, well, shit, I want to go on that path. If that's not the path you were born to choose and take after, then fuck it. Do what you got to do to be happy, and that's what's going to grant success.
Absolutely, man. I agree with you 100%, man. I agree with you 100%. Like for me, success is only, and this is not going to match with everybody else, but success is only true happiness.
Exactly.
For me, success is only true happiness. Like, I don't care if I got $2 to my name or 2 nickels to rub together. It doesn't matter to me. Success is only true happiness, and my true happiness is just being around my family, just being around my kids. And obviously, like you said, you mentioned making the ladder a shorter climb for your kids. Obviously, money is going to be needed to, to be put in place to survive and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But that's not what I put my energy behind.
And thinking about it rationally now, just hearing it come from you instead of out of my mouth, I have to rethink actually what I just said. Realistically, I don't want them to climb less ladder rungs. I just want them to start higher. I want them to climb more ladder rungs than I did. I just don't want them to have to do it from where I had to do it. If I think about life and I say, okay, it was 10 steps to get to where I want to be. Well, I want them to have to go through 10 or 15 steps too. I just hope I get to I'm hoping that what I do is position myself to elevate where their first rung is.
Hey, I heard something not too long ago, all right? And they used this analogy, and they use the number system. You go from 1 to 10, and then you basically are starting a new level.
Absolutely.
Going from 10. Like, I just don't want them to start at 0.
Yeah.
I still want them to get to as high as they're gonna go. You know what I mean? The number 1 million or whatever. I just don't want them to start at 0. So if I can boost them to 100. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To get to that million or whatever the number is.
And one of the biggest things that I try to do with my family is also teach and be transparent of the fact that equality doesn't mean you're only equal with where you started at. You have to be aware of those that started above you and beneath you, and that's a leadership trait. Equality means just that. It doesn't mean if you had to start at 0 or if you got lucky and started at 100. Those that you surround yourself with are part of your team, and everybody's equal on that team. And, I see right now we live in a social media world, and you see these people out there that are just making TikTok videos or YouTube videos. You see kids that are privileged. You see kids that are underprivileged, that don't have access to things. All of them are capable of fulfilling their destiny and doing the same things. But unfortunately, we live in a world where not all the same opportunities present themselves to everybody. And so one thing my kids are well aware of, even at 3 and 5, is that for every opportunity you're granted, you owe the world to give to. And when you do that, it comes back tenfold.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the views said,
Oh, I don't even know how to do that. Come on, it took us a while to get on here. Let me.
It did. For all you watching, we
Hey,
started this at 10, and just now we're able to
yeah,
get live. So
yeah. Look. I'm gonna make it shareable when we you know,
yeah, when we finish,
when
you
I'm
can
complete.
upload everything. Perfect.
Yeah. I'm gonna make it shareable then. But yeah, you're right. I should have paid attention to that. But not to get off topic. So look, so you just said that you taught your kids that at an early age. You know what I'm saying? They are going to be in a better position to pay it forward. You know what I'm saying? Because they learned it at an early age by somebody that don't have nobody in their ear. And that's exactly why we wanted to make this platform. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Because people might not have what you're saying. They might not have that person in their ear saying pay it forward, because that's essentially what you're saying. You with all the information that you get, everybody else not afforded that opportunity.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I mean?
I've always couple of things here. One of my favorite quotes ever came from Theodore Roosevelt, right? And he says,
Hmm.
far and away, the best gift in life is to work hard at work worth doing." And And a lot of people take that into a context that says, well, I need to be a doctor, or I need to be a lawyer, or I need to be a successful rich man or woman. I need to flourish in this. I need to work very hard in order to get to where I'm at. I don't agree with that necessarily, because I think to work hard, to work hard at work worth doing, to me, is if I'm working at all, whether it's in my relationship with my wife, whether it's if I'm cooking a meal for my family, whether I'm changing a tire, whatever I'm doing, to me, better be worth it, or I'm just wasting
Yeah.
time. So you got to work hard at everything you're doing. For me,
Your your why has to push you to work. You know what I mean? Hard at what you're doing. Some people get in there and they're just doing things just to do it, just to say they did it. Even if it's going to school. I went to school and I was a doctor just because my parents wanted me to be a doctor. You know what I mean? I went to school to become a lawyer because my parents wanted to be a lawyer. But if you're not putting the energy and feel that it's worth, putting that energy into it for yourself, then to me it's all for naught.
I 100% agree, man. And I tell people all the time, I know a lot of people. See, I'm business minded. I enjoy what I do. I love that I'm in this
Hmm.
enterprise, but it ain't for everybody. I know guys that want to be a professional golfer. I know guys that want to be a rapper. I know guys that want to be a country star. I know guys that want to be on TV. I know ladies that want to sing. I know women that want to open up a yoga studio. I know all of these fashions. What I tell people is, if that's not necessarily lucrative for you financially at the time, work hard enough at something that provides you the stability so that you can eventually make your hobby your lifestyle. I
Hmm.
think that too many people want to chase a dream and forget that you got to lay a foundation for it. A lot of people want to go, okay, I'm going to be a famous artist, or I'm going to be a YouTube star. It doesn't. You just don't open up a YouTube page. You can attest to this with your group. You
Yeah.
don't just open up a
Yeah.
YouTube page and start getting checks. So make
Yeah.
sure you've also got enough things to support yourself while you're going down that venture. Work so hard that your idols become your peers, and then there won't be a door you can't unlock.
I like that. I like that. You know what? People don't appreciate. They don't appreciate the grind.
Absolutely.
People don't appreciate the grind. They want that automatic success. The YouTube has nothing to me starting the YouTube and us starting the YouTube with the Enchiridion Team has nothing to do with no money. I don't care if we make a dime out of it. It has everything to do with the access.
Exactly. It's
It has everything to do with the access for the people. You know what I'm saying? And
information
getting the people.
awareness.
That's it. That's it. That's it. And that's why we do it. That's why we want to go through and I want to tap into everybody. I just had an idea where I wanna actually get on live with every single person that's on my friend list.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Just to hear what they saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to hear what they saying, because like honestly, like it's no one way, and you know y'all hear there's more than one way to skin a cat. It's really true. There's no one way to make it. If I wanted to, if what I love to do is build paper boxes, there's a market out there for me.
Absolutely. Find your market.
There's a market out there for
Find your market and dominate it. It's that simple.
Yeah. Yep. And don't be afraid. And don't be afraid to be in the lowest position.
Ever.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be in the lowest position, because some people will deny a job as a waiter. You know what I'm saying? Because what they really want to do is, I don't know, be some type of salesman, not knowing that waiter position is going to, you know what I mean, teach you that them communication skills.
Absolutely.
To become that salesman.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's the,
you never
the
know.
grind.
You never know when you're serving my table and you've done so well. I say, here's my card. You should call me. I think you want to do something else, don't you? I can see it in you, but you work hard. Everything else can be teachable. Everything else. That's the only way you can. I tell people all the time, if you want opportunity, create the opportunity.
Yeah.
Don't wait for it to come to you. Do everything in your power all the time to create the opportunity that you're after if it doesn't present itself to you. Because if you wait around, somebody else is already chasing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, I love it, man. You can't. This is not even what my expectation was. You hear me?
Yeah.
My expectation was like we was going to chop it up. I wasn't expecting you to blow the roof off the place. and I'm serious, man. Like seriously, with your insight, I feel like that you took it to a new level. Well, just all for this conversation right now.
Well, I appreciate
and I love that.
I got a question for you. When we first met in Japan, what was your first reaction to who the fuck is this crazy white boy running down the halls with bottles of liquor, being wild, playing music, talking to anybody and everybody?
Yeah. When we first met in Japan, I was like this. This dude really don't give a fuck about what's going on right now.
I didn't.
He don't care. Hey, we in the middle of field day. You bringing out bottles like this. Hey, Walt, let's make this drink. You used to do the Crown Royal with the Red Bull,
the money in the bank,
and the grenadine.
The money in the bank.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I loved it, man. That was lovely, man. I tell people about it to this day. I be like this. Look, y'all ain't had field day like we had field day in Japan.
No.
Yeah, field day like.
Remember,
but Japan was a
we be playing Big Pun, Chifo running the Puerto Rican flag out the window, all of us just dancing. I didn't give a fuck that I wasn't Puerto Rican. We was just I know I gotta go in this motherfucking shitty barracks room and clean. I'm gonna have fun with it.
Yeah. Nah, no doubt, man. And I loved it, man. I loved our time together. Actually, I have pictures already saved on my phone. Cause when I edit this video and I'm gonna put it on YouTube. Maybe it's not gonna be on YouTube no time soon, but when I do put it on YouTube, I'm going to put out pictures at the bottom of the show. Like, hey, this was a process. Like, we was here.
Dude,
you know.
I remember Friday nights would start at about 2:30 and not end until 2:30 the next day.
Yo, like, I remember one time we it had to be. I was, you know what I mean, because I was young.
We all were.
But it had to be like, I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning. It had to be like 8 o'clock in the morning, and we was ready to start again. And I was like, wait a minute. In my head, I was like, I don't know if I can keep up with these guys, man. These guys are pros. Like Joey Don, Boathouse. Y'all were pros.
Hey, they fucked up putting me and Joey Don as headmates, bruh.
That was horrible.
I mean, at the time, you put the two most senior corporals right next to each other, arguably on base.
Yep.
Who also don't give a fuck about anything else anybody else got to say.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Nah, yeah, I missed them times, man. Like, And then over there, we was really a family over there, man. Like,
and I want to use that as a moment to correlate that into a message. You know, one of the biggest things I pride myself on is being unequivocally me. Okay, I'm not going to change who the fuck I am so that you can be happy. Because I don't give a fuck if you're happy if I'm not. And
there's a shirt that I seen. It had this on it. It said, "Be you. They'll adjust."
Yeah, exactly.
They'll adjust. Like, and I was like, this man, I want to get that shirt.
And there was, I would argue that 85% of the Barracks fucking hated me or feared me or said, "What the fuck is that guy on?"
Yeah.
And I made no apologies to any of them.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, you was unapologetically you.
You know, I mean, there were times, we won't get into details, but there were times where I'd be laying in bed and the light in the hallway would come through the crack in my door, and I think I actually called you to go turn it off.
That's bullshit.
You
actually, hold on, time out. I do remember a time you tried to tell me to turn.
Well, there was some stuff going on, and I didn't even want to see what was happening with the light through the door, so I had to send a request.
Yeah,
and go into all the details, but
hey, I do remember that. No details, no deets. You're sick.
And another thing,
hey, you're sick. You're sick for bringing that up.
I also realized very early on how to use.
Hold on 1 second.
By the way, everybody watching this and commenting, I really appreciate it. This is awesome. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. I just been living life, so I appreciate this.
What'd you say? I had to go correct my kid real quick.
No, I was just everybody commenting and everything. I said, this is the first time I've done something like this, so I said I appreciate all of this, the opportunity, and that's why when I realized last night I'd had some drinks, I was enjoying myself. I finally put my kids down a little later than usual. We watched that new movie Soul. If you ain't seen it, you're fucking wrong.
Hey, is it on Netflix?
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh man, I don't have Disney. Oh, I do have Disney Plus actually.
Well, if you don't, let me know after this. I'll send you my shit. I'll build you a profile. You can use mine. Fuck them. But
all right, I bet.
Dude,
I appreciate that.
It's the perfect movie. It's the perfect movie to end 2020. I'm telling you. Your boy out there after a bottle of wine and some beers. I was like, my daughter Evelyn Lee, then my son Maddox Reagan. They look over. Daddy, are you crying? I'm like, fuck no, I'm not crying. What you talking about? Daddy's tough, bro. It's a great movie. But anyway, I realized in Japan first that when you have something that everybody else needs, control the market.
Mm-hmm.
I realized at that point at the time I was the only CDI on the base. Oxygen could go out. Planes couldn't fly if I didn't sign. So I said, you know what? I'm going to use this to my advantage. And I got fucking crazy. And I went wild. But I also groomed everybody at the same time. When I say I went crazy and I got wild, I had some turmoil going on in my personal life. But more than anything, I just was like, fuck it. I'm going to go work when I need to work. But when I'm done, I'm playing. I'm going to have fun.
Yeah.
And more times than not, that got me in some shit. Well, that's when I would turn over and say, okay, well, if you're going to fuck with me, planes won't fly. It's that simple.
You need me.
I also knew how to network with those around me to say, and that's just the start. That's the snowflake that will build a snowball that will steamroll this entire shit. I mean, I had guys in your position. I had guys in QA. I had somebody in every little aspect of that squadron where I was like, not to make it out like I was a godfather or nothing, that wasn't the case, but like we were just so tight-knit out there that it was like, if you fuck with Bake, you fuck with all of us. Just like if you or Stash or GFO or anybody came to it and said, hey, this is what's going on and I don't like it, we already had a plan to say, well, this is how we'll rectify it. They'll either conform or they won't.
Uh-oh. I think they messing with the internet. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. My internet was like glitching.
That's all good.
G4 just tried to call me.
I wonder if he's watching.
You hear me? Yeah, he said he was gonna tune in because I sent the text out saying I'm gonna be on live with B.
Oh shit.
And
oh hell.
And he said he was about to hear. Everybody want to know what Baker about to say.
You're like, well, fuck.
Hey, please,
Who needs Jersey Shore?
Please monitor him.
Who needs Jersey Shore when Bake's getting on live?
You never know what's gonna come out of his mouth.
Yeah.
But nah, man, my kid's starting to get all rowdy now, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. But we can, you know what I mean, you can call anytime.
Absolutely. Well,
yeah, you can call anytime, man. But
one parting message I would say for anybody, again, I'm Curtis Baker on Facebook. For anybody watching, feel free to shoot me a message. I mean, anything that I can be of service to, that's the life that I try to live. This was a great opportunity. I'm glad that we were able to connect, and I was able to take advantage of this platform that we've got going on. I'd love to come back on whenever we get things set back up, obviously. And for anybody out there just wondering, anybody thinking the situation I'm in dictates my life, I've got, even if it's a great excuse, it's still a fucking excuse. You know, look at your life like a dry erase board. Just because you write on it doesn't mean you can't change it. Fucking go after your goals, but make sure there's a big difference in dreams and goals, right? Goals have to be achievable, and dreams, you got to understand every once in a while. Don't look at a dream and say, well, it's so big, I can't accomplish it. What I would say is go after and say, what goals do I need to achieve in order to make my dream a reality? And just redefine it. If you define success as I want to do, I want to do 10 pull-ups, and you only hit 9. Well, okay, you're on your way. Keep doing them until that's a goal. Just hit it until you do 10. And then once you've achieved your goals and you realize the dream is coming true, it's time to re-dream. I tell everybody, if you walk into a room and you're the most successful person in the room, get the fuck out.
You need new friends.
Get the fuck
Get
out.
in a new room. Yeah.
I mean, if you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I've done it. I've accomplished everything I wanted to do in life. That's the exact moment you need to look back in that mirror and say, well, fuck you. Because you didn't reassess where you were and set new targets. Just continue going after what you want. And when you've got everything you want, then it's time to give back. It's time to set new goals on growing everybody else, on how do I not necessarily spread the wealth in terms of you ain't got to come out of your pocket, but spend time, put energy into everybody else, because that's the only way any of us are really going to make it. I mean, I think right now, especially in the political arena we're in, it's too black and white for motherfuckers. And I'm like, yo, just live in the gray, and everybody can be prosperous. If y'all quit tripping over dumb, meaningless bullshit, everybody can find a way to be happy. And just because you're happy doesn't mean I can't be. Just find a way to be happy with everybody. That doesn't mean that on your way to happiness, you ain't gonna have to check a motherfucker once or twice. And I'm about that as well. But just go after what you want, and don't let nobody tell you differently. If you change who you are in order to get to where you want to be, once you get there, you're not going to want it.
Yeah. Because it's not going to be worth it to you.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't worth changing who you are to get where you want to be. Absolutely.
Like Wu-Tang said, when ain't nothing to fuck with.
Ain't ain't nothing to fuck with. Hey, look, I'm gonna try to get I'm trying to get the people that know who the Bake is on here for the closing. But look, you said something that I wanted you to repeat. What'd you say?
Hey, I might be a white boy, but I'm from the hood, baby.
Hey, look, I might be a white boy, but look, because a lot of people want to be like, oh, what can this white boy? How can I relate to him? Look, you can relate plenty. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a different level of struggle.
Dude, my perspective is I don't give a fuck if you're black, white, purple, green. If a motherfucker shows up from Mars tomorrow and says, I need a job on Earth, if he's willing to work hard, or she is ready to work hard, or it's ready to work hard, that's all I give a fuck about.